Where does Rosen go? This is a foregone conclusion. That means a foregone conclusion that Rosen's gone, and he has made some first public statements on the subject of his, I guess, transfer portal that he's in professionally right now.
I didn't love the public. I mean, you probably saw the tape. Did you see the video, the SITV video? It's him and a bunch of bros, and they're sitting on top of a camper, and they're talking. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like an interview, but it seemed like it was more of a feature where he said it. I don't know when it was actually recorded what he said, but he said, of course it's distracting. You hear all this stuff. We just got to focus on it. He has played this offseason as well as you can as far as being a pro. No, nothing toxic, nothing on Twitter that you think would be flying off the handle. And yet, as the days are leading up to it, I would hope that nothing comes out the next couple of days about him being anything less than a pro, because I'm not sure what he's worth right now, Rich. I don't have a single team on record telling me they'd give a first-round pick for him. And I thought at the Combine we were talking Dolphins at 13 and Redskins at 15. I don't know what the value is. And the fact that the Cardinals, whether or not they're keeping it close to the vest, it's so well reported and so well sourced that they are interested in Murray. I'm not sure if his value goes even less. And teams are like, well, we have the leverage in this discussion. I'd be fascinated to see what team he is on the night ending Thursday, day one of the draft, because there's no sure thing, Rich, and we're going to be on the draft also. There's no sure thing that they pull the trigger that first night. They might wait a few days. They might see what to go. I just don't think they can start, OTAs, June minicamps with both of these guys in the building. But if his value was ever anything, I think that has already passed. I think now it's almost like the Cardinals are the ones feeling the pressure. All right, we better get something for him. And the other 31 teams might have the leverage.
Well, I just think that a couple things that you just said there, I want to take one by one here. That the fact that the compensation for Josh Rosen might not be in the first round category, I don't think has anything to do with Rosen's ability or what people think of him, especially since what everybody assumed about his personality in last year's talent evaluation period. If he was that guy, wouldn't he have been spending the last 3, 4, 5 weeks making a whole big stink and a big to-do to get him out of Arizona? I mean, he has handled it, as you pointed out, perfectly. But I think it has to do with the fact that everyone knows he's got to go. So why cough up the first rounder for him? You don't have to do that. Certainly not right now. Somebody might on the night before the draft hit it, right? So we shouldn't view his compensation that the Cardinals would get back for him in terms of Rosen's ability. We should just view it in terms of the lack of leverage that the Cardinals can exact, because everybody knows that they got to get rid of him.
Yeah. No, and that's the fascinating thing. And, you go back to Rosen and how he's handled this. You're right. I don't think you bought into this, and I know I definitely didn't, that it was very easy to say, okay, well, this guy comes from a wealthy family. He's had some things where he was in a hot tub in college. All right, he's a bad guy. He's an entitled silver spoon kid. And yet he's been everything but that in the NFL. And last year, no rookie quarterback faced more. No one was on his back more. No one had a worse offensive line. He didn't say a peep. And I spoke to Steve Wilkes at the Combine, who, if anybody could have the opportunity to throw Rosen under the bus,
yes,
anybody could say, well, look, I had no shot. It was the coach that got fired after 1 year. And it was off the record. I'll say it on the record now because I think Steve would be fine with it. The DC, the Browns, said this kid was awesome. Like, he was everything you could ever want in a rookie quarterback, and he handled it with such grace and leadership. So I think you're exactly right. I don't want this to be some sort of I guess it would almost be, indication of his value as an NFL player if he goes for a second or third round pick. No, it's because the Cardinals tipped their cap and everyone knew their cards, and you're not going to give away the 15th overall pick if you think you can get him for the 40th overall pick. That's just what it is.
And then secondly, I think, Peter, though, I don't think that they can sit and wait to get Rosen off the roster after the draft. I mean, wouldn't you think that with Kingsbury here and Murray joining the team and the team having so many other needs, clearly, that they've got to get more people in right here, right now, and get those draft choices in this year's draft right now and turn them into players to succeed in year one for Kingsbury and Murray, don't you think?
You'd sure hope so, unless they think there's a value in future draft picks and they can hold on to them. There's this great awkward thing that's going on right now that Rosen was in the building when they were parading Murray around on his visit, which is just insane. And you can think of all the analogies to being married to a woman and having the mistress, all that stuff. But the most fascinating thing that a person in the NFL pointed out to me is that who was Rosen's young receiver that he really bonded with this year? And they were roommates in minicamp. This guy, Christian Kirk.
Right.
And I said, yeah, Christian Kirk, Texas A&M. Yeah, who was Murray recruited with at Texas A&M? Who was his best friend at Texas A&M? Murray's best friend was Christian Kirk. Like, it's that in the weeds of how much this is enticing, these comparisons to a second lover or just an awkward situation in the workplace. So for that alone, for Kingsbury to not have to deal with that, and to what's fair to Josh Rosen, you almost say if it's 80 cents on the dollar and you get an early second-round pick for Josh Rosen, do what's right here. Just make the trade. There's some human element to this, too.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.